virtual welcomes.
So I want to welcome everyone here in the sanctuary and also those people joining us virtually online. Welcome to Unity Baton Rouge. We're so glad you joined us today. Our topic today is Let Go and Let God. And I know Laura Lisa always starts with a story or a joke. So Jack was walking along a cliff, and it was a very steep cliff, and he got distracted and wasn't really paying attention, got too close to the edge and fell over. It was a big, deep canyon, and on his way down, he caught the branch of a tree. And he's thinking, oh my gosh, I can't hang on here for long. And he looked down, and it was a way far down to the canyon. And so he started yelling, help, help, somebody help me. And he yelled for a few minutes, and then all of a sudden someone came by and said, Jack, where are you? And he says, I'm down here, I'm down here. He said, who are you? And the voice says, I'm Lord. And he said, oh God, thank you so much. Just rescue me, and I promise I will be a great person. I won't sin anymore. I'll just be good for the whole rest of my life. And so the Lord says, well, don't make any promises. Let's get you out of this situation first. And he says, okay, what do you want me to do? And the Lord said, let go. And he thought for a second. He said, what did you say? And he said, let go. And all of a sudden, Jack started yelling, anybody else up there? So I'd like to introduce Jude and Jerie, and they're going to have our opening song, What Is Mine to Give?
What is mine to give? What is mine to do? All I want is to share myself with you. So I stand there asking, what can I do? What is mine to give? I give it to you. What is mine to give? What is mine to do? All I want to share myself with you. So I stand here asking, what can I do? What is mine to give? I give it to you. What is mine to give? What is mine to do? All I want is to share myself with you. So I stand here asking, what can I do? What is mine to give? I give it to you.
Thank you.
So we have a welcome blessing, and I invite you to say it with me. We love you, we bless you, we behold the Christ in you. Who you are makes a difference in our lives. And now is the time that we light our Christ candle and recognize that we are all part of the one life. So let's begin our service with prayer as we take a deep, nourishing breath and recognize the Christ in each of us and connect with that Christ in each of us. That love, that joy, that peace, that ease, that grace that is right here, moving in, through, and as us on this planet. What I know to be the truth today is that each of us is here by divine appointment, that we are here to hear something that is necessary for us to hear, whether it be in the music or the message or the meditation. We have come here to connect with that Christ in us in a special way. So I am grateful I am grateful every day to remember that the God without is the God within each person on this planet. And it's from that gratitude that I just released these words, knowing they're already done, knowing there's nothing for any of us to do but to let go and let God. So I just say amen, and we can affirm it together, and so it is. And now we allow ourselves to listen to the beautiful voices of Jude and Jerie, and we refrain from singing to keep our sanctuary safe.
I'm here to remind you of your magnificence, to help you awake to all the wonder that you are. I long to show you all the joy you're worthy of. I'm here to remind you how much you're truly loved. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul.
And after that beautiful song, let us read together our statement of being. There is only one presence, one power, and one intelligence, active as the universe and as my life, God the good, omnipotence.
There was a time in my life I thought I'd have to do it all for myself. Didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. Didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you've got to let it go. Let it all go. And this is what you have to say. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. And no more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. One more time. I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I am free Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God.
Such a blessing to have such wonderful music. And now I want to invite Richard Gordon to come up and read our daily word. I know that we all appreciate all that Richard does for this community.
Thank you, Reverend Larry. It's a blessing to have you here. Nancy, it's such a blessing to have you here. Thank you so much. It's good to see you again. Today is Sunday, February the 21st, and the phrase is, let go, let God. I do what is mine to do and release the rest. Over the years, I have accepted more and more responsibility as I have grown in maturity and experience. I have also grown in wisdom as I am able to discern what is mine to do. I have learned what to take on and what to leave for others. I have also learned not to exhaust myself by taking on too many commitments. Perhaps most important, I know when to use my will and determination to make things happen and when to let go. I recall times in my life when I felt frustrated that events did not unfold the way I had expected. I can now see how they unfolded perfectly, often in ways better than I could have imagined. I now let go easily, trusting in that perfection. And from Acts chapter 17, verse 28. In him we live and move and have our being. As even some of you, your own poets, have said, for we too are his offspring.
I'd like to I would like to introduce Reverend Nancy Wurtz. She got her doctorate from Emerson in divinity, and we are happy to have her here to do the meditation and the talk. And she has spoken at many different churches around the city and is an excellent speaker. And I know that we're all going to be blessed by this meditation and this talk that she's going to give us. Thank you. Right. Sorry.
Don't put your limits on my God. Don't tell me what I must believe. If God's going to do his work, he must be free. Don't put him in a little box and say you must be orthodox. For the love of God's unlimited to me. Since beginning of creation, man's been worshiping his gods in the hills and on the plains and by the sea. He's made rules and regulations that have passed through generations on the way to worship God properly. Don't put your limits on my God. Don't tell me what I must believe. If God's going to do his work, he must be free. Don't put him in a little box and say, you must be orthodox, for the love of God's unlimited to me. Now there are rules for how to pray and rituals for every day that will teach us how to love the Lord our God. But what is even stranger, now there really is a danger that you're worshiping the rules instead of God. Don't put your limits on my God. Don't tell me what I must believe. If God's going to do his work, he must be free. Don't put him in a little box and say, you must be orthodox, for the love of God's unlimited to me. Unlimited, unlimited. Oh, he's high in the sky, as well as deep inside of me. He's the universal principle of love through eternity. Thank you.
I am free. I am unlimited. There are no chains that bind. I am free. I am right now.
Take a deep breath and relax into your chair. Let wherever you are support you. And move that short distance from your head into your heart. Moving into that place within you where you connect with the divine, with God, with all that is. And moving into that place of divine connection, knowing that you are one with that divine power. You know that you can let go. Let go and feel that support. Feel that divine energy flowing through you as you. Knowing that there is nothing except God. Nothing but that wonderful spirit that is love, all love. And when we are in that place of divine connection, there is nothing to fear. For we recognize that there is only good, even when it doesn't look like it to us, even when we don't see the big picture. In this place, we can relax and be free, letting go, knowing that God is. And wherever God is, we are. Wherever we are, God is. And all is well. And as you take another deep breath, open your heart, open your mind to knowing what is yours to do and what is yours to release.
I am free. I am unlimited. There are no chains that bind. I am free. I am
Let yourself return to the here and now, bringing with you the message that you received from your own higher self, from your divine presence within. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and be here now.
I am free. I am unlimited. There are no chains that bind. I am free. I am unlimited. Right now. I am free. I am
Thank you, Jude and Jerie. When I talked to Jude about the music, when we were talking about today, I decided to pick all my favorite songs that I hadn't heard in a long time. Thank you, Jerie, for coming to sing. So, as practitioners of New Thought, we all know that what we think about, we bring about. So I love it when I'm talking about love or prosperity or joy. Some of the others, forgiveness and letting go and letting God, these are not quite as much fun. So I've asked myself, what makes it so hard to let go? Well, this week it wasn't hard at all, because I absolutely knew there was nothing I could do about not having any electricity and the house being cold. And so that was an easy one. However, in August, when I tested positive for COVID, to be honest, I was afraid, because I have several factors that put me at risk. And after about an hour of worry, I used the affirmation that in the past I used daily, one that brought me peace when my life felt out of control, and that is, I'm living in the awareness of God's presence, trusting in divine order. Because I know when I do that, nothing can shake me. I can live in peace and joy and love. In Proverbs, it says in Proverbs 3:5, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do not lean on your own understanding. And I think for me, that's probably the hard one, is to not lean on my own understanding, but to move to a higher place where I can see things differently. Charles Fillmore told us to be still and turn to the great source within. So that is what I decided to do at that moment. And so what happened? Well, what happened was the first thing I did was call the people that I had been around, and I had a few of those, and they all got to work immediately. I had an appointment with a client. I called her to tell her I wouldn't be able to meet with her that day. And she immediately called Silent Unity to get them started praying for me. Debbie called Richard, who called his crew, including Pat, and they began their pranic healing work with me. And I really believe it was because of the prayers and because the healing work that they were doing that I had very mild symptoms. And I so appreciate you for doing that. They worked with me for 6 weeks. I was in quarantine for 6 weeks. Like I said, I had very mild symptoms, but I kept running a low-grade fever. So when I let go of the fear. You know, in Matthew 6:27, it says, "And which of you, by being anxious, can add a single hour to his span of life?" And that's really true. How can we add an hour by worry? We can, however, take off a few, I believe. So by going to the place where we are trusting, that's the part for me, trusting in divine order, even when I can't see it. But I use that affirmation daily for at least 10 years. I've learned a lot from Reverend Larry. And one of the things I learned about, which I absolutely love, is the difference between affirmations and afformations. Now, I used that affirmation until I finally believe I embodied it. But affirmations work so well, and that is putting it in the form of a question. Because as a destination method coach, I've studied the way the mind works. And we all know that the conscious critical mind believes it's in charge, but it ain't necessarily so. It's the subconscious that does the work. By putting your affirmation into the form of a question and turning it into an affirmation, it bypasses that critical conscious mind. So I could have probably done this a lot quicker if I'd said, how is it I so willingly and easily trust in divine order? How is it I so willingly and easily live in the awareness of God's presence in my life and trust in divine order? Turning it into a question just works so well. James W. Gall said in The Lost Art of Practicing His Presence, contemplative prayer means letting go of that fear and giving control to God. That fear, whatever that fear is at the moment. Some of the questions I thought about this week is, how can I let go of something that means that much to me? How can I let go of something that means that much to me? It's, to me, was especially difficult if it was something to do with people who are very important in my life. How could I let go of that? Well, you know, it's that, just like in the Dailyword today, knowing what is mine to do and what is not. And a lot of things that I wanted to control were not mine to do to begin with. And that of course, just brought me a lot of suffering that didn't have to be. So another question is, if I let it go, doesn't that mean that I'm giving up and I don't care? It's another one that's especially close when it's a relationship with someone you love. If I let go, does it mean I'm giving up and I don't care? I think a lot of us have problems with surrender. And surrendering is not about giving up. Surrender is to give over, to turn it over, to let go of all that control. And here's one, as New Thought people, what if I can't let go? Does that mean I'm ruining my own blessings? Am I getting in my own way? Isn't that one? That's one that I can beat myself up with. So have you ever done that? Beat yourself up about, oh my goodness, I'm getting in my own way. Again, that's not surrendering, and that's not letting go. It's like I let go, but I'm just going to hang on to this one little thread just in case. Just in case. So that's not letting go. Again, Charles Fillmore told us, the one and only formative power given to man is thought. By his thinking, he not only makes character, but body and affairs. For as he thinketh within himself, so he is. And I know that we all know that. So how is it that it's so hard to change our thinking? I know for me, I fall back into old patterns of thought that don't serve me. So a good question for me to ask myself when I get into that space is this mine to do? And is this an old pattern of thought? And is it the truth? Because we've been told forever that the truth will set us free. Is this really the truth? Is it the truth of the situation? Is it the truth of me? A lot of times it's not the truth of me. It's an old pattern of thought. And we all know we can change our thoughts. And then there's but I have let it go like 1,000 times and nothing's changed. So I ask you, have I let it go 1,000 times and nothing changed? No, of course not. What I've done is still looked for my own outcome. And maybe the outcome I was getting was not what I wanted or expected. In Guidepost, Elizabeth Vargas said, I used to think the phrase, let go and let God, was about turning my troubles over to him and he would take care of things. The saying both bothered me because there were times when I tried to pass him the baton and it fell with a clunk on the ground. You ever felt that? Well, I tried to turn it over and it just fell. She says, I finally begun to understand that the phrase means something entirely different. Let go of the outcome you desire and let God manifest his will. Because we all know that loving presence within us will bring us more than we could ever imagine, more good than we can imagine for ourselves, if we just let go and let God. When I have been able to do that, wow, how wonderful things have turned out. And when I can stop myself and ask myself about how things have been in the past, I can see the things that I thought at the time were the most horrible things in the world. Oh, this can't be. This is awful. Have in retrospect turned out to be the best thing that could have happened at that time. And immense good has come out of that situation. So by remembering those things, it makes it easier for me to let go and let God. So when I get in that space of not knowing what to do or not thinking things are going my way, if I stop and remember the past and remember the things that seemed so awful at the time but turned out to be the best, then I can let go a little easier and a little quicker. Doesn't mean I don't still hang on to them. I'm not soup yet. There used to be this commercial on TV, have some kind of a dry soup mix, and this little boy kept coming to the door. Is it soup yet? Is it soup yet? I'm not soup yet. I'm still cooking. So I know that it's easier. It gets easier. I am wiser than I was 40 years ago. And I still have a long way to go. But I'm on that journey. And the other thing is, I think that I look for the end of the journey, which isn't what I'm here for. The journey is what I'm here for. So when I can remember that that journey is what's bringing me joy, bringing me love, bringing me all the good things in my life, I don't have to worry about getting to a destination, because the destination is here and now. And when I can stop and live in the moment, I can let go. Often for me, and I expect that it's so for other people, the things that I get caught up on are the what ifs. What if this? What if that? Today for me, it was, oh, I'm being filmed. It's going to go out. It's going to be on the internet. Oh, no, I'm going to mess up, and then it's going to be out there forever for everyone to see. So we can get into those thoughts, those patterns, and not trust that everything is in divine order. Everything. Doesn't mean we don't work at being the best, each of us, the best person we can be, being our best self. But it's about trusting the process. Trusting the process. Max Luciano said, it's time to let God's love cover all things in your life, all secrets, all hurts, all minutes of worry. I think that's something that really brings us peace, when we stop and let God's love cover everything. It's our own, for me, it's my own designation of good and not good that brings me suffering. If I accept that everything is good, even when I don't understand why it is or how it is, then I can be at peace. Again, Charles Fillmore said, the mind of the Spirit will guide you in perfect ways, even in the minute details of your life, if you will let it do so. If you will let it do so. Those of you who've heard me speak before know that I always like to use a poem to end with, because when I was a little girl, my mother read poetry to me, and I can still recite most of the poems in Robert Louis Stevenson's Child's Garden of Verses. So it's always, for me, it's an honoring her. And I found a wonderful poem, actually by Lowell Fillmore, who is Charles and Myrtle's son, that I think really speaks to what we've talked about here today. And it's called The Answer. When for a purpose I have prayed and prayed and prayer, until my words seem worn and bare and arduous with use. And I have knocked and asked again, and all my fervor and persistence brought no hope. I pause to give my weary brain a rest and cease my anxious human cry. In that still moment, after self has tried and failed, there came a glorious vision of God's power, and lo, my prayer was answered in that hour. And I think that's true for all of us. When we let go, our prayers are answered. And our prayers are answered in wonderful ways that we don't even imagine. 6 years ago, when we decided to sell our house, I prayed for the perfect person to buy that house. We had 4 offers that fell through. And I was just wondering, what's going on? And Johanna said, I think you should just pray for a sale, not for the perfect person. But guess what? My prayer was answered, because the person who bought my house, our house, is sitting behind me and has become one of my dearest friends and has been such a blessing in our lives. And that's how I met Reverend Larry, was when Karen brought her to look at our house. And so I know that she was an answer to that prayer, and I'm eternally grateful. And I'm so grateful for the people in my life. I'm grateful to Jude and Jerie for doing all the music that I love, and it's so great to hear y'all again. And I'm grateful for Richard and Pat, who spent 6 weeks working, bringing me healing. And I truly believe that's why I had such mild symptoms. Truly believe that. And I'm grateful that I did recover. And now I've had both doses of the vaccine, and I'm fully immunized. And I know that everything that we experience brings us closer to knowing who we are within if we just take time to look. So I'm going to leave you with one question, and that is, how is it you so willingly and easily let go and let God, and know that the outcome is going to be even better than what you can imagine? So thank you for having me, and have a wonderful week. I think Jude and Jerie are going to help us with some more beautiful music.
I think we say
Yes. Thank you, Nancy. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
We appreciate your wisdom. Are you going to sing the Hallelujah? No. Okay.
it's from the other bulletin.
Okay. I know that you will all be happy to have Laura Lisa back, who kind of knows the flow of this, and she is taking a well-deserved weekend with her husband. It's their anniversary weekend, so she'll be back next week with you. We have a time now for our offering, and we take a moment to just put our consciousness into that divine flow. We practice that law of circulation, knowing that to give is to receive. And we open ourselves up to all the blessings that can rain down on us through the windows of heaven. So we have an affirmation that we say together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am and have, all that I give and receive. Thank you, God. And we have a offering plate up here and one in the back. And for those of you looking at us virtually, please go out to our website and use our donate button.
looking back on times that you stumble, Lord, I know how it feels. Heavy-hearted, tired and weary, everything's so unreal. Maybe you thought you were all alone, maybe just too much pride. You should have looked within, 'cause I tell you, friend, there's a powerful force inside. Let go, let God move in, and then watch your Christ light shine with a heavenly glow. Oh, I said let go, let God be strong. Just move on. You're going to a power much stronger than you'll ever know. Never worry if he'll show up, 'cause you know he's always there. With all of his saints and all of his angels, nothing that he can't bear. Now take a deep breath and step out in faith. Learn to enjoy the ride. Well, now I tell you, friend, relax and tap into that powerful force inside. I said let God. Oh yeah, move in, and then watch your Christ light shine with a heavenly glow. Yeah, I said now let go, let God be strong. Just move on, yeah, we'll want you to a power much stronger than we'll ever know. There's nothing to it, I know you can do it, I promise it's working for me. There's only one must, and neighbor, that's trust. Truth, it can set you free. Let go, let God move in, and then let your Christ light shine with a heavenly glow. Yes, and now let go, let God be strong. Just move on, we'll want you to a power much stronger than you'll ever want, to a power much stronger than you'll ever want, to a power much stronger than you'll ever know. Let go, let go. Thank you.
Oh, wow. Such beautiful, wonderful things going on. So we have our tithes, and I'm just going to get the basket here. And we see these tithes going out to support our mission. So let's affirm that mission together as a congregation. Unity of Baton Rouge is a diverse, growing, thriving, healing community of wisdom, love, support, and service. So I ask you to please remember to use that donate button on our website. And if you're not receiving the weekly emails that go out on Wednesdays, please let us know. You can email us at unitybatonrouge@gmail.com, or you can call 225-755-3043 at any time with questions or any of your needs. Our prayer chaplains and care team are here to help. Remember that service starts at 11 o'clock now, so be a friend of Unity. Show up at 11. And please stay tuned for our Together Louisiana group discussion to end institutional racism. We move from desire to action, for greater education for all children. VIPs, barbershop books, legislation for greater funding of public schools. We've reached out and are excited about the future as we reimagine Louisiana. Every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m., we have a Course in Miracle group. Call Cody at 985-634-7501 to join on Zoom. There's an aquarium meditation now on the second and fourth Sundays. Join on February 27th at 1 p.m. We practice social distancing and health protocols. The theme is eternal love. And if you're looking for ways to serve the greater Baton Rouge community, join More Baton Rouge after the service next Sunday at 800 North 19th Street, the corner of Spanish Town Road and North 19th Street, and help hand out meals in the neighborhood. To submit your name or another members for board service, elections are going to be held in March, so please email us at unitybatonrouge@gmail.com. We're happy to say we have a full slate of nominees for the 2 seats that are becoming vacant. Our dream interpretation group is completed for now, and we'll let you know when we're sharing our dreams again. Have a joyous week and let your light shine.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as Creator. We're a family. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Yay, God.
Great job. Great job. Great job. Nancy, the boy